have Callum, an absent, Coburn, and Emily for the time being. Oh yeah, and Razan's joining us online. Sorry, I thought I said Razan. Apologies. Razan is also joining us from online. Okay, item number 3, disclosure of any potential or perceived conflicts of interest. Are there any potential or perceived conflicts of interest to be discussed? Tani?
Yes, I have a conflict of interest with 6.3, considering it is regarding my appointment.
Thank you, Tani. Yes, Mitch, I believe you have something else to say.
I'll move that Tani be allowed to remain for discussion but not participate or vote on the motion.
Okay, so the motion is that Tani be allowed to remain for discussion but not participate or vote. Yep, you'd like to second that, Ben. Anyone want to speak on that motion? Yeah, Dylan, you can go ahead and speak for that.
I too support this motion.
Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate that. And I'd just like to note that Emily's joined the meeting at 5:35 p.m. Welcome, welcome. Okay, if there are no other comments for that, I think we'll just move to a vote. All those in favour of the motion? Yeah, that's all good. Okay, great. That motion's carried. There's no need to show against, clear majority. All right, item number 4. 4.1, previous meeting minutes. We got a motion that the Guild Council approves the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 2nd of the 10th and the 13th of the 10th. It's true and accurate record of proceedings at those meetings. Moved by Noor. Can I get a seconder? Thank you, Mitch. Noor, as the mover, would you like to speak on the motion, Mitch? No. Any other comments about the minutes? No? Okay. All those in favour? Okay, great. All those against? Yeah, great. The motion's carried. Okay. Now we'll go to item 5, which is reports. 5.1, President's report. Dylan, your report and KPIs are submitted. Would you like to speak to them?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you for the manner in which you started this meeting. I thought that it just gave us the jolt we needed to get underway. And thank you for stepping up and being Chair of Guild Council as well. This year, you've done a fantastic job picking it up midway through after Ryan departed, and look forward to seeing what you achieve next year on Guild Council. Basically, in summary, and in addition to what I've provided in my written report, I do firmly believe that this year has been a very impactful one for the Guild. We've delivered real outcomes across many issues that matter most to Curtin students. We are progressing major academic reforms like a universal submission time in this last reporting period as well, achieving some wins on parking and transport, supporting the NTEU and Curtin staff through industrial action, and also hosting key national leaders at the Curtin Student Guild. And we have consistently shown what determined student-led advocacy can achieve. And our work has helped position the Guild as a credible and respected voice in the sector. And it's clear that the efforts of our community are making a meaningful difference and are recognised and acknowledged and appreciated by the 50,000 plus students that study at this university. I think this term has been one of a lot of change within the Guild. We've had a new managing director, and I just want to thank the tireless work and efforts that Vernon has put into picking up here at the Guild and really running with it from day one. And I've enjoyed working alongside him, and I'm looking forward to continuing to do that into the new year. In terms of strategic work, we've approved this year our brand new strategic plan. We have undertaken major reform and change, which is still continuing in our commercial portfolio. That is already leading to fantastic outcomes for the Guild and is positioning our commercial portfolio once again as a net contributor to the Guild. as you'll see in the budget papers put forward at today's meeting, we have taken on this task and we've run with it. And I think that we can be really proud as a council, as a 56 Guild Council, to know that we are leaving the Guild in a stronger position than when we began, building again on years and years of work, but really picking up that mantle and running with it. So I am genuinely proud to have worked alongside everyone here on Guild Council, our dedicated staff and our committed office bearers throughout this year. The progress that we've made is the result of collective effort, shared purpose and a deep belief in what a strong student union can do. I will note, Chair, I didn't have a chance to mention with you, obviously there's been more conversation around the university sector review and potential mergers. I feel we may just be best to just bring that up, possibly in other business at the end, to have a discussion, potentially if it needs to be moved on camera, just to potentially, if anyone wanted to save questions on that part till then. But I do know that basically what we need to do as a guild is we really want to protect those values and that identity that exists here at Curtin University. We don't, and that's something that we do every day here at the Guild, is that this is a university that has strong working class roots and we need to be reminded of that every day. That means standing with students who overwhelmingly are working class students at this university. It means standing with staff who are overwhelmingly working class staff here at this university. It means building on all of the efforts of past Guild councils and continuing to sort of live up to the name that Curtin holds and to be a better version of ourselves. There's a lot of headwinds heading our way. There's a lot of reform happening in the university sector. There's a lot of challenges facing students and workers in this society, and we need to be there ready to stand alongside people every single day. So it has been a real privilege to work alongside all of you. I'm very grateful for the energy, care and commitment that you bring to this organisation every day. For those of you who this will be your last Guild Council for the time being, thank you very much for all the work that you've put in to the Guild. Thank you for engaging. I think this has been a very engaged Guild Council this year. And yeah, with that, happy to say that I've marked all my KPIs as completed. I hope that the Council accepts that assessment of my work. And yeah, happy to take any questions, but thank you very much. It's been a real privilege and looking forward to continuing again next year.
Thank you, Dylan. Has anyone got any questions for Dylan about his report? Keeping in note that university mergers we will leave until general business. If there's anyone willing to have discussions on that. Does anyone have any questions? If you're online, just either put your hand up or something. Other than that, I'm seeing nothing. Okay, so we will move to Vice President of Education. Ben, your report was submitted and your KPIs were submitted. Would you like to speak about them?
Yes, I'd like to. It's been a year. I'd just like to say, so I'll speak to my KPIs first. Most of my KPIs have been met. The issues spoken on in there are very much similar to the mid-year. I'll take that failure on by myself. I'm not going to place any blame there. I could have done better. The rest of my KPIs have been met. I'll now once move forward to my notes that I want to say. Universal submission time. During LSEC last week, I believe, we were able to get that through and approved to allow for a universal submission time moving forward in 2026 on a 1-year review. Hopefully next year that gets pushed into a permanent state. I just want to say that this highlights the good that we do for students, not just as like myself, but the people that have worked on this with me, Mitch and Dylan, to start. They've been instrumental as well, and all the people that have helped me with barbecue surveying, all that. These people have been great, and it shows what you can do when you actually speak to the university, but also push students to see what they want. And I think it shows that we're doing something right at the end of the day. I'm also looking forward to that, as well as the implementation of two tuition-free weeks next semester as well. So two big wins, last one being last year's VPE, but I want to highlight that. And I'd also like to highlight as well just the Excellence in Teaching Awards that happened last month, which in my report, all the people that have won that, the work that all of the reps did towards that, as well as Marianne, it was greatly appreciated, and I think everyone there really appreciated the ceremony. I'm happy to take any questions on my report, though.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Has anyone got any comments or anything they'd like to ask Ben about his report? I'll give you online people just a couple of seconds in case you want to put your hand up. Yeah, Dylan, go for it.
Is there any words of wisdom you want to share with the 56 Guild Council before we depart?
No. I have no wise words.
He's put all of his wide words into his work. That's the thing. Okay, so it's got none left, which is what we like to see. We like to see our representatives put everything 100% into their work. Yes, Mitch, go for it.
Are there any reflections you like to make on the year you've had? What what you're particularly proud of, what you might have done different, what you're hoping continues into next year?
No, of course. There definitely are. And I'd say one of my weakest points has been communicating with all reps. I think I should have been more strict in a matter of sense and sticking to a schedule. I think that would be one of my biggest failures. And with my handover report today with Adia, that's one of the things that I very much urged to continue to that and to do that properly. Would be one of the biggest things. Once again, highlight for me has to be this month getting universal submission times to the last step. Hopefully next week we can push that through. And I think that just, it's something that I feel strongly about. A lot of universities are adopting that. And I think it just shows that as a student union, we can make meaningful change at the university.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Any other comments, queries, questions for Ben about his report or KPIs? Seeing none, I will move to the acting Vice President of Activities, Tani. Your report and KPIs, obviously a combination of different people were submitted. Would you like to speak to it?
I would love to speak to it. This report was prepared by Bridget. I only took over at the start of last week. The only thing I would add to that would be, of course, that last week we had Bassam Alam. The formal review and sort of debrief of that will be coming out early next year. But just chatting to the team, the estimate of people that came through was pretty on par with previous years, being like 10 to 11,000 people. Luke did note that the vendors seemed super happy. He's usually having to deal with quite tired, quite antsy vendors at the end of the night, but they were extremely impressed with the professionalism and the smoothness of how the event went. So that was really good feedback to hear. Huge props to Beck and Carla, who took on so much with obviously our events coordinator bowing out right before the end. But yeah, other than that, I am happy to take any questions. But if you have anything that is nitty gritty or too specific, I would say please direct them towards Councillor Bridget, as she may have more to say than I would.
I will also just ask if Bridget, if you'd like to expand on anything in particular. I do know that she was the person who wrote the report. So if you'd like to speak to it or at all, go for it. I do understand you are not in Australia, so it might be slightly difficult with internet access and things.
Thank you, David. I think my report was pretty expansive on itself with its 10 pages. However, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, great. Thank you, Bridget. Anyone have any questions, comments, queries? Yeah, Ebony, go for it.
I just wanted to say really big well done on Bassam Alam. Spoke to heaps of people and they were super excited about it, and it was the best one they've been to in a few years. So yeah, excellent feedback.
Okay, great. Yeah, Dylan, go for it.
Yeah, just sort of using that opportunity on Bassam Alam. The next day, I went to the state government's multicultural festival in the city of Elizabeth Quay, and it was a dog's breakfast. So we do a really good job here. It was my first Pass Alarm, and I know that Beck and the team put in a lot of effort, being down one person, but the feedback that we've had is overwhelmingly positive. So yeah, I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone in sort of expressing our thanks for this really important, a little spider running across the desk in front of me. Really important. I was going for David, it's fine. A really important event, and I know it's something that costs a bit of money. It's a lot of effort, but it's so important to the Guild, and it's something that I'm sure we're going to continue and see grow into the future. But yeah, just really wanted to note that. I know you picked up sort of last minute, but like so far you've done a fantastic job as VPA. Bring a lot of enthusiasm to the role. I'm really looking forward to working with you next year, Tani. And yeah, I know that you're very helpful as well at Pass Alarm, picking up and helping with the volunteers. So yeah, just well done on that.
Thanks, Dylan. Any more questions or queries on Ben's report? Sorry, Tani. Sorry, Tani says Bridget's. Sorry. All right. Lock back in. Any more questions or queries for Tani's report? Nah. Cool. We will move to Vice President Sustainability and Welfare. Razan, your report and KPIs were submitted. Would you like to expand any further on them?
Thanks, David. With this report specifically, there was a lot of students that had been engaging with the Guild, and that's come out from, again, the Guild honestly doing such a great job this year that even staff are starting to notice, and these staff members were encouraging their students to get in touch. And that also did include, it did start with Sustainability Week, and I thought it might have ended there, but it really didn't. And that's been absolutely great. I know that Tarsen isn't here today, but I really do want to commend the ISC president, the equity reps, and I'm just like honestly blown away by how brilliant Tarsen has done in his role. And there are less meetings being reported, university meetings being reported this time. And it's only because all these working groups have been dissolved. Action plans have been created, and those will continue on to next year. So, for example, 3 days ago was the launch of the Sustainability Action Plan, which I've been working with on the university for the past year. KPIs are 90% completed. I know I did set out a lot before starting the role, and I'm really happy with what I've been able to achieve. That the balance between welfare and sustainability was one that I thought I might struggle with, but I think it's been really good. Jackie started off this role amazingly, and it's been great being able to continue it. I've been speaking to the incoming VPSW, and I know that they'll do a great job. And the Guild has really built itself a reputation not only within the university but also on a national level, and that's been really good.
Okay, thank you, Razan. That's great to hear. Has anyone got any questions, queries, or comments for Razan about Razan's reports or KPIs? Yeah, Dylan, go for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to say well done on a fantastic term. You've been an incredibly impactful Vice President, Sustainability and Welfare that has delivered so much for Curtin students, and you've put your all into it. You're an incredibly passionate and driven person. So I'm very proud to have worked alongside you, and I hope that you're very proud of what you've achieved for not just the Guild, but also the students of the university and students more broadly as well, particularly on the very important work that you did on the racism at uni study as well, which should be very much noted and will have a national level impact.
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it. And it just reflects on how great of a Guild we've been this year. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Razan and Dylan. Any other
If I can add,
oh yeah, go
if
for
I
it.
can-
Sorry, yeah, it's a
sorry.
lot to ask. Go for it.
No, it's completely fine. I just have a clash with a university event, so I might have to leave soon. But yeah, I'm happy to keep taking questions.
Okay, no worries, no worries. And I'm sure people can also send an email or et cetera if they have further questions as well. Any further questions, comments, just for Razan? Got to head off now. Okay, great. Well, we will move on then. Thank you, Razan, and thank you for your work this year. Secretary
you.
report. Yeah, I just thought I'd catch you before you go, so thank you. So Secretary report, Noor, your report was submitted and KPIs. Would you like to speak to him?
Yes, just a little bit. I'll just go over my KPIs. A lot of them are kind of ongoing ones that I do just as I go through the role. But one I would like to highlight is bringing in the ethnocultural officer by updating the regs. Thanks, Mitch, for your help. I'm really, really proud that that's been able to be complete and that we're going to have an even better like all-encompassing guild in regards to our equity groups and how we can sort of vouch for our students next year. As for having the policy book done, that one is done. I'm just updating the aesthetics, but if everybody likes, I'll circle that out and also put it on the website. So we'll have, easy access to the policies we've done. As for this report, the last couple of months since the last Guild Council, we've just gone to the diversity conference, which was held in Adelaide at Flinders Uni. And I just wanted to say that I'm grateful for the experience and hoping that the NUS and guilds all around as well kind of understand the intersectional portfolios and how important they are and that we give them space and a voice. And I'm glad that Curtin's Guild has taken another step into advocacy for students in that regard, and just simple things like planning for the induction that's coming up for our new reps and finalising the budget with the VPA for next year's reps and kind of outlining what they're going to be spending just so that we can have them hit the ground running. And yeah, very happy with the year that we've had, and I'm very grateful to have been the secretary this year. Thanks, guys.
Right, thank you, Noor. Has anyone got any questions, comments, queries for Noor's report? Go for it, Mitch Craig.
Noor, you're doing a really good job this year. Did you really enjoy it though? What do you think of the secretary role?
I actually love this role, guys. Oh, can I add one more thing?
No. That's actually, yes.
I was able to sit with Vernon and David Price, our consultant, on a range of interviews for our incoming governance officer, hopefully coming in next year. And I'm really, really excited to see what that does for the guild and how it's going to help us kind of wrangle all of our governance and how much more efficient we can be next year without harassing you, Mitch. So yeah, thanks. That's all.
So you sat in on the interviews, did you? Did you think there was a great range of talent being presented?
Everyone there was really good. But I'm hoping we'll see a face next year, but TBD.
Yeah. Okay, Bridget, I see you've got a hand up. Go for it.
I would just like to thank Noor for her dedicated work towards the guild. Noor, you have been a lovely face, sometimes rare, but a lovely face in the guild. You've truly brightened the guild, and you've done so much work to the guild, and I would like to truly, truly thank you for everything, and I can't wait for what the future holds for you.
Thanks, Bridget.
That's always great to hear. Okay, are there any other comments, queries, questions for Noor or her KPIs? No? Okay, great. We'll move on to the Managing Director's report. Vernon, your report was submitted. Would you like to dive into it at all?
No, I'm happy to take the report as read. I just wouldn't mind saying a few words, and happy to take questions, obviously, also. This being my first year, it's been a full year, and I just wanted to thank those that supported me and helped me through this first year, being Dylan, Nora, and the executive team, along with all the elected office holders. I've enjoyed working with you all. I want to thank this council and the Commercial Consultative Committee and Finance and Risk Committee that I've also worked with on a number of projects and a number of matters. Most importantly, I want to thank my management team and staff, hardworking staff that put it in every day to try to provide the best level of service and outcomes for our members as guided by yourselves and your strategy. And just to touch on that, I feel this was and even from the onset of when approaching the recruitment of this role or the consideration of this role, it was clear that there was a want for some transformational change. There was some need for transformational change from a commercial point of view. So we had our work cut out for us this year, and I'm really proud of what we've been able to do as a team, and that's right from the casual workers in our cafes to the president I think it's been tangible and measurable, the impact the combination of our efforts have been. And so I wanted to thank all of those people. I think we're really well on our way with a clear direction and setting some really strong standards for ourselves to continue to maintain off the back of the hard work that's gone before us. And just to touch on some of the things, highlights and things that come to mind as I approach this meeting. Lived through the first guild elections, which was really interesting, but went relatively smoothly as reported to me from others that have a perspective of more than one election process. So well done to all of that and all of those involved, particular thanks to Marianne, who was a really big support for me with that. We negotiated an ECA in what I would describe as a really mature professional manner. And so thanks to Miles and Nika for their support with that. We've conducted a commercial review and developed a plan and started implementing phase 1 of that plan. We had a organisational structural review and plan, and we've started implementing that plan with recruitments, as mentioned by Nor. We're really excited about our preferred candidate for the governance officer. So I don't want to preempt that and touch wood, but we're at the point of reviewing references. We conducted an ICT audit. We oversaw a remediation piece of work to respond to that audit, and we've conducted a restructure of IT off the back of that. And I'm so happy to advise that as of 1st December, Catalytic IT will be on site and part of our IT service delivery, which strengthens our capabilities. It strengthens our network and protections. So really proud of that. We've just commenced preliminary work on a risk management plan review, just a health check on how we're going, with a view to seek some expertise on whether we can develop that further. We conducted a desktop insurance program review that resulted in positive changes to our program that ensures and enshrines protection for the elected members of our clubs, that they have professional indemnity insurance and as so that they can carry out their duties in good faith and feel protected, that if anything goes wrong, they are protected by our insurance, which wasn't the case. And we've ensured that our own public liability coverage is on par in terms of the magnitude of coverage with like businesses. And we're completing 4 facility projects with a couple more on the radar. So that's a big year. So thanks again to everyone, all of us that combined to achieve that and get through that. And I'm really excited about what we can do with another 12 months next year. Other than that, I'll take my report as being read, but welcome any questions.
Okay, thank you, Vernon. Anyone got any questions, queries or comments for Vernon about his report? Yeah, go for it, Ben.
Hi, Ben. I just want to congratulate you for the first year that you had at the Guild, especially the financials. I know that's been a difficult point for the last few years.
Thanks, Ben. Much appreciated.
Yeah, it is definitely worth thank you to Vernon. Lots of reports. I know the commercial strategy and the all the strategies that you've implemented. It's operational strategy as well. All those plans, they take a lot of work. I know you've worked very, very hard, and we can see the results through the reports that are submitted every single month at Guild Council. So we really appreciate your work and how hard you're working for the students here. It's great.
Thanks, David.
And for the associate members as well. Nor, did you want to say something? Did you? No? Okay, all good. So are there any other questions or any? I don't believe so. I also would just like to note that Razan left at 5:54 p.m. I just needed to note that. If not, we'll go to the motion, which is that the Guild Council approves the reports. That's moved by Nor. Can I get a seconder? Yeah, Ben. Great. If there are no more, I'm assuming there's going to be no more comments on that, as we already sort of talked about that. So I'll just move to the vote. So all those in favour? Anyone against? Okay, that motion's carried. We also have another motion that the Guild Council approves the KPIs. It's also moved by Noor. Can I get a seconder? Thank you, Ebony. Assuming, again, no more comments on that one, I'll give people a second. That was 3, so good. All those in favour? All those against? Great, that motion's carried. We'll now move to business on notice, where we have the lovely, beautiful, exciting, rigorous, invigorating safety report. So, Noor, you moved that. Would you like to talk about the safety report at all? Oh, that's okay. Okay, all right.
Nothing much to say. 100% of the inspections were done on time. There were some minor issues in some workplace inspections, but overall, pretty tame. Yeah.
Okay, great. It does say 100% of safety inspections conducting on time. That's great. It's a perfect record. Okay, can I get, assuming there's no other comments, are there any comments about the safety report or questions? Yep, Dylan.
Vern, I'm just wondering if there's any sort of update broadly on the cracking in the wall at in Central and the kitchen. I'm just conscious that the cracking is appearing in the upper level directly above the location of the lower level. Now, I'm not sure what that actually means, but could you provide any more information on that?
Not a great deal, Dylan, only to say that the university is aware of it and they assure us that their engineers are monitoring it, and rectification of that cracking is linked to their major capital precinct planning, and there is no requirement for them to remediate it prior to that, is our understanding and the feedback we're getting from them. I've seen it. It looks significant, and we do raise it, and that's why we do keep it on this report. So every now and then we can seek an update from them, so that we don't lose track. But that's my understanding of the state of affairs with the cracking.
Okay, thank you, Vernon. Any other comments? Yeah, Ebony, go for it.
The other thing, I don't know if the safety report mentions it, but last couple of times we've been in the bridge, the glass between it forms one of the walls. It's not super stable. Is it possible that that can be looked into?
Okay, thank you, Ebony.
Yeah.
Pass it to Vernon.
Yeah, absolutely. We can look into that. Well, we've got one of the next projects that we've just approved the quote for is level 2 of 106F, which is the offices and kitchen area up there. So while we have the builders up there, if they'll have a look at it, and then if deemed necessary, they can get an engineer to look at whether that's just natural movement of that kind of structure or whether it needs fastening or replacing. We'll definitely put that on the list.
Yeah, Dylan, go for it.
Vernon, the fire drill that happened on the 10th of October just notes the communication challenges between wardens and the chief warden. How is that kind of stuff resolved between the guild taking on that responsibility and it broadly being a university area? And we also we're wardens for areas that aren't also directly the guild's lease. Is that correct as well? I'm just interested in how that works and how these issues are resolved.
Yeah, thanks for that. So how they're resolved is a combination of our interaction with the university on this and our own internal planning and methodologies. And what I mean by that is we highlight the gaps between what is really within our leasehold and what we should be responsible for, but those areas that get captured in between, especially now with the moving of the fire panel, and that's what's creating a lot of these new issues. So let's talk to the first thing is the communication thing, and this is an internal challenge that we have to deal with. That the university will say, well, that's part of your planning perspective, is because the chief warden is now quite far away from the central area of the precinct. How we communicate and how messaging to the chief warden is delivered when areas are cleared is not really efficient, and we're looking at whether we have a crude approach, might be a WhatsApp group or something like that, where we can all monitor and keep live information going. So that's an internal one. The university won't really get involved in problem solving with us on that. Not that we've vigorously tried to get them to intervene. And the other areas are those areas like outside the tavern, in between the tavern and central, and those other areas. The feedback we get, and this is somewhat pleasing and frustrating in the same vein, is that we are probably doing it at gold standard compared to all the other areas they're doing it, and for us just to do our best, and they're sure it'll be fine. What's not just do our best is we ensure we are obligated to, and we continue to ensure that all of our premises are cleared, and we've introduced the management team at the Guild has introduced a new emergency evacuation plan that brings together all of our departments, and each department has their own known predetermined responsibility. So that's really good, and so we've made developments in that, and I think we've got a pretty strong plan. It's just this final piece, which is how do we communicate. Currently what we're doing is, as it's cleared, me being the chief warden, when I'm on site, I'll either get a call or the nominated person for an area is coming and advising me in person. And the only downside to that, or the downside to that, is the time delay between it being cleared and me being notified and being able to notify the emergency response.
Okay, thank you, Vernon. Are there any other comments, questions? Okay, I'll go to Mitch first and then I'll go to Tani.
Yeah, I got two questions. First off, I noticed that there's a university department is moved into 103 in that big area, LITEC. Have they got a warden?
I'll have to take that one on notice, Mitch. I'm sorry, and get back to you. I don't know whether they do. That's building 103.
Yeah, in the big area with lots of computers. It used to be a computer lab, and it's been converted to like open plan office space for a university department recently.
Right. I know we don't have official responsibility for and pardon my lack of understanding of where's the geographical kind of bearings on campus yet, but where Clubs Hub is now, and the opposite area of the corridor to it, is not our responsibility to evacuate or to monitor. I just thought I'd mention that we have received confirmation. We will do that as a courtesy if we don't see anyone trying to remove those persons that are still in that building, if it requires evacuating, but that is the university's responsibility. But I'll look into building 103, whether there's a warden assigned by the uni.
Yeah, previously there was no staff spaces, but there are now. So
yeah. There might be a gap that they'll be appreciative of us asking about.
Yeah. The next one was, do you think these communications issues have come about because they removed our fire panel from 106F and combined it with 103?
Yeah, I think it's come about because where they've located, for us, the communication challenges is because of the change of location of where the fire warden resides during an evacuation, where historically at the base of 106F, it's quite a centralised spot. So you could essentially, get feedback from the building quite easily and even across courtyards quite easily because of that. And it's also the expansion into Clubs Hub responsibility. So that's extended our jurisdiction for responsibility of evacuating. So I think it's a combination of those two. But from all accounts, I wasn't present for the drill, but our safety officer said it went relatively smoothly, other than the communication things that we're still working on as a management team on how best to manage that. I don't think there's a perfect system, but yeah, we'll get it more refined than it is now.
Great. Thank you, Vernon. Tani, I believe you had another question to ask about the safety report.
Yeah, I did. Obviously, I haven't been here all year, and I don't know whether there's been some major incidents in previous safety reports, but just looking at it, the 2,392.65 hours of work and compensation paid out over the last 12 months just seems quite high. I do know we have quite a number of outlets and a huge staff, obviously, like between like professional outlets and everything. But just dividing that by the 38-hour work week, it's almost 63 weeks of pay. It's over a year of wages. Just wanted to know if that's quite what you would have expected, or higher, lower.
Yeah, really good question. It's one of those things I haven't benchmarked against other, and I might check with other guilds, but again, that'll be relative to their size of commercial operations and such, because we've got a current case of a strained knee lifting a milk crate, and these things happen, and that's more aligned to our commercial operations than our office, but you do get workers' compensation in offices as well. So the thing is, what I can say is this rolling 12-month average has been pretty consistent since I arrived. I think it's getting close. In the last report I've seen in the last couple of days, I think it's getting closer to 3,000 hours, and I queried that. But what occurs when you have a rolling average is there could be people that go on short-term leave at certain points, and you get these little peaks and troughs as you roll through, and you might be leaving a really soft period for workers' comp and adding on a month of high workers' comp. So it does go in peaks and troughs, but it's since I've been here, it's been in a band of about 2,500 hours. So, and I can't speak intelligently on whether that's always been the case or that's risen in the last 10 years or post-COVID. But yeah, that's something worth having a look at benchmarking. The thing I would say, based on my experience in other organisations, is if this was a particular issue for us, our insurers would be quite vocal in encouraging us to implement specific programs or training, or they'd be wanting to understand what's happening on our campus that's not on other campuses. And I've not received any commentary from our insurers on it, but it's not something I've spent a lot of time investigating.
Okay. Thank you, Vernon. Any other questions, comments, or queries for Vernon? Go for it, Ebony.
How have we end up with several out-of-date fire extinguishers, and what are we doing to avoid that?
Sorry,
yeah.
We end up with them because we have a lot of them, and at times they get missed. Why they've been detected this time, we've refreshed the way in which we do our safety inspections. Not unlike our evacuation program, we kind of overhauled it, and we wanted fresh eyes in fresh areas. And I had the pleasure of, and it's a significant piece of work, going to all the outlets with the outlet managers, and like a very novice inspector, ran it by the book. And so I with the outlet managers and the other team members. We went from top to toe and found things that really highlighted things we didn't need to be checking, and resulted in comments of slightly messier desks than others and all. They're not material safety issues. It was just following the program top to toe. So that's probably why they've been detected in this iteration, because we opened up every cupboard and every roller door like the tavern, and we inspected every plug point to the practicable level. And so it was kind of a spring cleaning, if you like, on our inspections. And so we've notified our supplier, and they're coming back to rectify all of these. And hopefully moving forward, there are less of these. But it's not uncommon in larger organisations and spread out organisations such as ours. And an example I use is Guildford Grammar School, a previous employer that we're spread over acres. These things that happen, it's just human error. But it's good that we've got these mechanisms and checks in place to detect them and address them.
Okay. Thank you, Vernon. Okay, great. Are there any other comments or queries about the safety report? I think this has probably been the most questions we've had about the safety report, but it's good that we're being thorough. Okay, great. So we'll go to a vote. Did I ask for a seconder for the safety report? I'm not sure whether I did. Did I say Ebony was going to second? Or did you second the KPIs? You can see, okay, Ebony has seconded the safety report. So just for clarification, all those in favour of noting the safety report? Yep, great. All those against? Motion's carried. Item 6.2, finance report. We've got a motion that the Guild notes finance report, moved by Noor. Can I get a seconder? I'll write it down this time. Thank you, Mitch. All right, Noor, would you like to talk about the safety report at all? No? No? Okay. Is everyone, any comments or wanting to speak? Anyone wanting to speak about the finance report? Mitch, what would you like to say about the finance report, Mitch?
I just, looking at the cash flow graph, this is the first time in a few years that we're looking like we're going to end the year with more money than we started. But I do note there's a $1.79 million variance between actual and budget. We've got a lot more money than we planned. Is this mainly due to unspent SAF and ISAF, or?
I believe you can pass on to it.
Yeah, happy to take that. Yeah, that is definitely a component of it, is our ISAF expenditure, both operational and capital, so delays in capital. We've been good with our projects, and I think it's partly due to us reprioritising our facility projects to get those that we think are necessary to launch into next year, and delay some of the larger capital projects such as the Cafe Central and Tavern, which was forecast for this year, and the fact that we changed our strategy around those projects, but also certain positions that were budgeted for in terms of additional student assist support, and some staff movements would have contributed to that. So, I still think it's a positive reflection of our operational fiscal management as well as that. But yeah, in answer to your question, certainly part of that is our delay in spending some of the SAF and ISAF.
Okay, yep. Great. Anyone else got any questions, comments about the finance report? No? Okay, great. We'll go to the vote, which is that Guild Council notes the finance report. All those in favour? All those against? Motion's carried. Now we'll go to item 6.3, appointment of Tani as VPA. And then we have a motion that the Guild Council ratify the appointment of Tani as Acting Vice President Activities commencing on the 10th of November 2025, moved by Noor, seconded by Dylan. It is noted that Tani has a conflict of interest for this. Noor, as the mover, would you like to speak on the motion?
So Dylan appointed Tani as the acting VPA following Bridget's resignation. Tani was elected at the 2025 elections as next year's vice president activities. So this has kind of just allowed her to start her role early, and she's done a great job so far. So this is just going to give her the capacity to continue until her actual term begins on December 1st.
Great. Dylan, would you like to speak to the motion?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Tani's doing a great job and will continue to do so. And it would be an odd anomaly for the Guild to sack Tani and then for her to take up the office again in 10 days' time.
Yeah, understood. Well, I mean, I guess if Tani wanted 10 days of leave, we could not ratify it. Anyone got anything that they'd like to discuss in relation to the motion? Ben?
How are you finding it, Tani?
Could you relate to the motion about ratifying Tani as acting VPA, please?
I think it's important to see what she's doing and how she's finding the role before we approve this.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yep, Tani?
If I'm allowed to comment, I didn't think I had speaking rights right now.
That's actually
but-
so true. So I'm actually going to have to say that that's not, so you can't, we actually did do that. So no, sorry, Ben can't ask that. But you can ask members. No, I'm pretty sure Mitch's motion was that. But it's a.
No, how am I finding it?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, yippee.
I don't think.
No, really good. Hit the ground running. Been working quite closely with Vernon, and for anyone that's had to listen to my loud ass voice, speaking of all the things I want to achieve next year, I'm very excited, and I'm hoping I'm using this time wisely, setting up my KPIs and seeing what I can really implement next year. So yeah, a little bit of preparation and finding my feet, and just turning around and throwing Pasar Malam in my first week. This is the kind of things we can expect to see going forward.
Love the enthusiasm. All right. Any other comments, questions, queries, or any discussion relating to the motion? Not seeing any. We'll head to a vote. So all those in favour? All those against? That motion is carried. Congratulations, Tani. All right, now we will go to item 6.4, the Remuneration Tribunal Decision 2025. Great. So we have a motion that the Guild Council notes the final 2025 remuneration Tribunal decision, moved by Noor, seconded by Dylan. Noor, as the mover, would you like to speak to the motion?
Yeah, I think this is, again, pretty self-explanatory. We're just noting the decision made. Slightly increased pay rates will take everybody to at least $30 an hour, and it's just would be in place for the 57th Guild Council. And also adjusted hours to reflect what's been consistent and what we predict to be the portfolios for next year.
Yeah. Okay, great. Dylan, as seconder, would you like to speak about the Remuneration Tribunal decision motion?
No, I think that it was a thorough process, and ultimately a decision was made that's compliant with the Guild statute book. And at the end of the day, as Guild Council, that's all we can ask for. Well done, Mitch.
Okay, yeah, Mitch, go for it.
I just want to thank Marianne and Linda for their help on the tribunal. It's not an easy or simple process, and but we came to a decision, and I think we were all very happy with that decision. I will also take this opportunity to remind anyone that wants to submit to the special inquiry that's open for the creation of the ethnocultural officer to do so by email to m.craig@guild.edu.au.
So just to confirm, you said
Guild
at
dot
guild.edu.
Guild.curtin.edu.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure that we clarify that for the record. Thanks, Mick.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have, no, you're good, great. Anyone else have any further comments? Tani, go for it.
Yeah, I do. Just on the upping everyone to see everyone up over $30 an hour, it is good to see the Guild really leading the way in paying students correctly on this campus, and I think we'll continue to do that. And I just wanted to note, it's good to see the Guild setting the standard for letting students be able to work and study and live.
Yeah, great. It is important to note that the reps work very, very hard. So I believe that is great inclusion. Has anyone else got any comments, queries about the motion? Not seeing any. We will go to a vote. So all those in favour of noting the tribunal decision? I'll note it. You'll note it. Thanks, Dylan, for that comment. And all those against? Can't vote twice. Yep. Okay, great. That motion's carried. All right, we'll go to item 6.5, 2026 operating capital budgets. Very, very important. That upon the recommendation of the Finance and Risk Committee, the Guild Council approves A, the 2025 operating budget, and B, the 2025 capital budget, moved by Noor, seconded by Dylan. Noor, would you like to speak to the motion as the mover?
Yeah, not much to say. It's all there if you want to have a look at the 2026 budgets. This just has more support for student assist, more club funding, more money for events, and also budget there for our new commercial strategy, all the positions that have been brought in. So yeah. Dylan, anything to add?
Dylan, as the seconder, would you like to speak? Yeah, would you like to speak to it?
Yes.
Well, that's, yeah, lovely.
Thank you.
I did give you permission to speak.
Yeah,
You
okay,
can
thank
speak.
you. Sorry, we have a little bit of levity. It's been a long year. I think this is a really good budget, and I think the most important thing to note for this council is that it projects a significant surplus. So I think one of the things that we need to be laser focused on into the year ahead is what we use that for, what we're going to invest in. Obviously, there are changes that are being put in place in terms of structural change in the Guild, bringing on board new general managers, which was approved earlier this year. So using that new capacity, what we need to be focused on is how we utilise these resources and what decisions we need to make about them. But I think we're in a good position to be heading towards, and I think it's something sort of that we should be really proud of, to be approving this kind of a budget going into next year. I think it's a really good position. It's certainly the strongest position financially the Guild's been in, at least since COVID. So it's something very much worthwhile noting. I think it's a really good outcome for the Guild, and I think I'd rather be in the position where we're discussing how we're going to spend more money than how we need to spend less money. So I think we're in a good position to keep delivering for students, and really excited to see where those conversations go into the new year as well.
Okay, thank you, Dylan. Any comments about the motion of approving the budget? Just wanted to know that Ebony left 6:32 p.m. I'm not seeing any, so we will then go to a vote. So all those in favour of approving the two budgets? All those against? That motion's carried. Okay, we'll now move to item 7, which are minutes of committees reporting to the Guild Council. There are 6 meetings that we are looking at. Although, just looking at this one, I do think there was a Finance and Risk Committee meeting since last. minutes, because we haven't had a second one. Okay, right, gotcha. Okay, so we have a motion that Guild Council approves the minutes of the committees reporting to Guild Council. That's 2 rep boards and 4 executive committees. Moved by Nor, seconded by Dylan. Nor, would you like to speak as the mover of the motion? No, Dylan?
No.
No? Okay, great. Anyone else have any comments regarding any of the minutes of the previous meetings? No? Okay, great. All those in favour of approving those minutes? All those against? Motion's carried. We will now go to item 8, which is general business. And just before we go into any other general business, I would like to just make a bit of a ruling here, which is I've thought about this for quite a while. Under item 27 of the Guild Council regulations, titled Removal from Office, it says that a member of Guild Council shall have their office declared vacant due to resignation or death, or be removed from office by the following means. And then 1C of that says, upon making of a declaration by the chair at a meeting of Guild Council certifying the member has either been absent without apology from 2 consecutive meetings or any 3 meetings, 2, been absent with an apology for 3 consecutive meetings or any 4 meetings without leave of absence, and then about reports. And upon further inspection, Coben Foster has been absent for 5 out of 9 meetings. So that is more than 50%. To note, 3 of those were absent, which were the March Guild Council meeting, today's Guild Council meeting, and the special meeting of Guild Council, and then 2 leave of absences, or apologies rather, on June and July. And so I do consider that under C2, where it says any 4 meetings without a leave of absence, I do think that if you are absent from the meeting, that is actually worse than an apology. So that counts towards that 4 tally. And obviously he is on 5. So as per item 27 of the regulations, I declare Coben Foster's position on Guild Council vacant. Okay. Now we'll move on to item 8.1, which is ideas and suggestions. Are there any ideas or suggestions for Guild Council? I'd also like to comment, Ebony entered the room 6:36 p.m. Re-entered the meeting. And that we are struggling with the door again. Oh. Okay. Sorry, Hamida, Hamida, did I see you? Do you want to? Yeah, Hamida, go for it if you wanted to comment. Is this an idea or suggestion, or?
Is this general business? Sorry, I thought you said.
Yes, we are in general business. There's 2 items on the general business. There's 8.1 ideas and suggestions, and 8.2 other business. So if you like something that's not an idea or a suggestion, we'll come to that in like 30 seconds if no one has any ideas or suggestions. Okay, has anyone got any ideas or suggestions? Opening it up to the room. None. All right, great. We'll go to item 8.2, which is other business. Hamida, you can go for it. Mitch Craig's left the room 6:37 p.m. Okay, Hamida, you can go for it.
So, I was just going to ask about the sort of NUS NatCon tickets. I just tried to check like the last date that you can buy them. I was just wondering if like the sort of guild has had a chance to get the tickets and the flights yet, since it's quite close to the conference date.
Yeah, Hamida, I'm organising that, so I'll be doing the booking tomorrow. So I'll be checking the dates that you've input for what you prefer, and I will contact you just if there's anything with flight availability, and I'll just liaise with you about that tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great. Any other business under general business? If anyone wants, just either show of hands online or in person. Does anyone want to have any discussion around university mergers at all? Further discussion? Yeah. Okay. We have at least one hand. Now I do believe that
With that said, then I'd just like to move, motion to move in camera for this discussion.
Okay, great. Yep. Are you seconding that motion? Great. All right. So we have a motion that we're going to move in camera in order to discuss.
And I mean, Mary Ann and Vernon can stay present, but I'm happy with that to happen as well.
Okay. All those in favour of this motion? Okay, great. That has passed. Hamida, was that you raising your hand for against the motion? Not that it matters. I was just saw your hand up.
I understand.
No, I was just voting for it.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Sorry, I know I was going quite quickly. All good. I'm going to start the recording now. Oop. Yeah. We're in the UK, bro. Sorry, what did you say? Okay. Okay, great. We're now back in camera. Finished our discussion. Are there any other business? Anyone else that got anything to say for other business? Tani.
I do. I would like to thank all of you for your last Guild Council, but I'd like to throw a special shout out to someone I didn't think I'd ever see leave the Guild in my time. Mitchell Craig is not going to be in this Guild Council next year, which is crazy. As much as you do get on some of our nerves sometimes, I think at least Guild Exec will have to have you on speed dial in case we need a dramatic reading of matters reserved to Guild Council at any point in time.
Thank you, Tani.
I want to add to what she said. You've been such a big support for me this year, especially with everything to do with secretary. And I really appreciate it. And you'll be contacted for next year. You won't be free. You're not free.
Yeah, I think, go for it, Ben.
I also want to say the same. Thanks for helping me out this year, Mitch. You will be missed.
Truly will be. Yeah, go for it, Dylan.
Oh, Mitch. Where can I begin? Thank you very much for your service to students, the Guild, the university, and broadly, nationally, as General Secretary of the Council of Australian Postgraduate Student Associations. That's gone under your secretaryship, from being an organisation that does very little to being an organisation that does something. A little bit, but something. And that's something to be celebrated. Thank you so much on behalf of everyone, on behalf of myself, on behalf of my own sanity. Au revoir.
Merci beaucoup.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, guys.
Can I just request that be noted in the minutes? Mitch's response was, "Oh, shanks, guys." Thanks. Oh no, oh shucks. Thanks, guys. Okay. Okay. Is there? I won't add to that because that was too nice of a roundup. I am aware, Mitch, that you have also done the meeting evaluation. But before we get to the meeting evaluation, is there any other business? Any other business? Going once, going twice, sold, and moving on. To the meeting evaluation, Mitchell Craig, you have had the honour and the privilege of undertaking the meeting evaluation as your last ever Guild Council meeting. Take it away for all of us.
In terms of alignment of the now, there was good alignment of the agenda with the strategy map, etc., etc. Yes, the committee papers provided the right information, although there were some extra documents after the special minutes, like the entire set of the student misconduct rules for some reason, that didn't need to be there. Strengths of the meeting, we gave the Guild a budget for next year, and there was also a great focus on health and safety. Suggestions for improvement, I recommend having a Guild Council work plan so that you know when things are due and all that stuff would be helpful. We already do one for finance and risk. The university does it for all their committees. It'd be nice to have one for Guild Council. Values moments. Ben's reflections on the success of the Universal Submission Time campaign, showing what the Guild and reps can do when they really push for something. Well done, Ben. It showed autonomy and integrity. And I'd just like to say, personally, I've been here for a long, long time. You guys have been a wonderful Guild Council. I had a wonderful time last year as well with Jasmine and Veronica and Max and Jackie. I'd like to thank, basically my exec team from when I was exec, for all your help last year as well, and really good job to this year's exec team. You've done really well. The Guild's in a much better position, and also thanks to Vernon as well. But yeah, thank you all. It's been a blast. I look forward to those panic phone calls when something goes horribly wrong.
Thank you, Mitch. All right, are there any other, I don't think there's anything on the agenda. And so I close the last Guild Council of this year at 7:13 p.m. And the next ordinary Guild Council meeting is to be determined.